Good evening, everyone. I am incredibly sorry. Firstly, to say that I wasn't. I thought it was starting at 7, but apparently it started at 6:50. I'd say. Oh, earlier than that. I am so sorry, everyone, that I I wasn't here. I've missed most of qualifying now, and I've got no sound. There we go. I've missed most of qualifying. Let's have a rundown of the grid. Total P is currently on the fastest time right now. He's done a 24.6, 24.7 for NSX Mads, and Calvin is in P3 right now with a 24.9. Miami S on a 24.9 as well. Heated LH, the host for the lobby today. All of these guys on a 24.9 with 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go. I cannot stress this enough that I am sorry. It was a complete misjudgment from me, I guess. I'm completely at fault. I thought the race started at 7 and I was eating dinner and I thought I'd finish it, and it was all a catastrophe. But I'm here now, so we're going to move past it, hopefully. I'll probably get told off, but yeah, I deserve that. As Nolan, JD Nolan, I'll call him Nolan. He's in 6th, 7th for Raja. I'll just call him Raja because I think that's an I instead of an L. Excel Don, who's just coming out of the pits, the 2 Alpha Romeos, those 2. MCR in 9th, 10th for Robert Sum. Then Saul in 11th, 12th for Jerome. 13th is Fusa, California in 14th, 15th for Mick Dutchface. Philippe has retired, so he's not going to put in a lap, and he's presumably going to start from last position, which is not what he would have wanted coming into this race. Brandon and Adri, I'll call him Adri instead of Adri Lockdock. He also is on an out lap right now. Brandon's got hardly any time left. I think he's actually coming out of the pit lane right now as we speak, or is that someone else? That could be a Mercedes that was actually coming out. Oh, there he goes. Now he's left the pit lane. He's only going to get one shot at his lap, so we'll follow along with Calvin as he is on his lap, currently in the 2nd sector, just coming out of that is Luffield there, through Woodcut now onto the old start-finish straight before the new configuration came out, and I believe 2012 I think was the first time we saw the new configuration. Through Cops, flat out through there, and now into the infamous Maggots and Beckett's. Can Calvin get himself onto the front row and maybe even into pole position provisionally? Well, what's his time right now? He's a 10th up, so it's still not enough to get past his teammate P's, but that can still be decent. Maybe get past Mads and get into P2, and on the front row, a front row lockout for the Mercedes. That would be pretty accurate according to how F1 normally works, as through the final part of the lap, through the Vale Chicane and Club Corner, he does improve by 0.02 of a second, just ahead of Mads. Mads currently on a lap right now. He just started it, coming through Abbey in that Haas car, so we'll probably catch up with him, as I believe Miami's just beginning a lap at the moment. Then there's a Mercedes getting overtaken by a Ferrari, so I believe that's Saul on a lap right now. He's 2/10 up on this one at the moment, as now through Stowe comes the Ferrari, the scarlet red car. We'll watch him coming through the Vale Chicane, a tricky complex of corners to get right, but he seems to be doing pretty decently through here, maxing out the ERS. He's got none to deploy on the straight, and he goes 9th fastest with a 25.3, as Williams has just either finished or started a lap. I believe that Brandon's not actually come out the pit lane. He's not going to put in a lap. As we wind down in this qualifying session, we're getting to the point where if you're... Oh, Robert's been disqualified for going the wrong way. Qualifying is now over, so if you're on a lap, you can finish it. As here comes MCR. He doesn't improve on his time. Dutch Face is in the middle of his lap. All these guys kind of in the middle of their laps. We've got California S in the middle sector. Oh no, in the final sector, at the final corner. He's going to improve on this lap. He was a 10th up, 4 tenths improvement, but he only jumps up to 13th place. He's going to get a fresh set of tyres to put on at the start of the race, and I believe that is the end of qualifying for most cars. Adri is 3 tenths down, but he actually clawed back 3 tenths through the second sector, so it could be good from him. And he's just through the final couple of corners now. You can hear that Mercedes engine's in the Williams. He goes 2 tenths quicker. Okay. And that is the end of qualifying, I believe. We're just waiting for Heated LH to finish up on this one. He's actually we're just waiting for him to actually retire the car. I think they're pulling him into the pit lane now. Just give it a minute and it'll work out. Codemasters is also not very clever, so that tends to happen. We might be in a glitch right now, unless there's someone that I'm missing. There we go. He's retired from the session now. Total P's on pole here today. Madsen second, Calvin takes up third, fourth for XL Don, Miami 5 ending up in 5th place, Heated LH in 6th, 7th for Nolan, then Raja in 8th, 9th for Sol, and rounding out the top 10 is MCR Fusa. Though it's going to have an advantage on the tyres. He's going to get a fresh set of tyres. These guys will probably go on to the mediums if they're starting outside the top 10. McDutch face in 12th position, then Jerome in 13th, 14th for California, and then Adri in 16th, 17th for Philippe, Brandon in 17th, and getting disqualified for going the wrong way, Robert, rounding out the grid in 18th place. As we're just going to get ready to start the race. I hope the stream is going okay. I started it a bit late because I am an idiot. I do apologise. Just gotta make sure that it is up. Yeah, okay, it's all good. It's all good, boys. We're okay. We're waiting for the beginning of the race, and they'll roll off on the formation lap very soon. As the drivers just begin to finish up their time, their strategies and their fuel loads and all of that rubbish. Got 8 viewers in the stream. If you're watching, say hello, and that'd be nice to see people say hi. As a couple guys we're just waiting on, the clock struck 0, so they'll be forced to go anyways. As here we go, beginning out on the formation lap. It is Total P starting on pole, and let's see what tyres everyone chose to go on. So you can see here that, okay, we got some mixed strategies for the drivers starting outside the top 10. If you're in the top 10, you have to go on the tyres you qualified on. So for everyone in the top 10, it is a set of softs, and Sol and MCR made contact rolling off the grid, so they're gonna be at a bit of a disadvantage. They'll be on colder tyres, less grippy, and they'll be on the back foot off the start, especially when traction is all important. They're going to find it harder to get that. You can see the bottom of the screen, the predicted pit stop strategy is a 1-stop. You're going to go for a soft to medium strategy. Of course, safety cars can throw a spanner into those works, but then going off the strategy, you can see that Fusa, Jerome, Adri and Robert, they've all opted for the medium tyres, but McDutchface, California, Philippe and Brandon, they've gone for the soft tyres, which means that they'll have a lot more grip at the beginning of the race, have more grip than the mediums will ever have, but they'll die out a lot quicker. Probably have to come in around lap number 10 or so, maybe a little bit earlier. I actually find with this game, the guys in the top 10, their tyres are the tyres they qualified on, which means they'll be a little bit worn from their qualifying laps. You can see there's two kind of packs forming right now. I think that's Nolan giving... Oh dear, he's gone flying in. He's gone straight into the back of an Alpha Tauri. And they've both been disqualified. ABC again, I've just switched my TV off. I seem to be doing that quite a lot recently. To 14 if you're on the softs. I don't expect them, the softs, to go that long into the race, so Codemasters kind of do need to alter that a little bit. What I would actually find useful, what I think would be useful, is Codemasters bring in some esports drivers who basically play the game for a living, pay them to tell them all about strategies and setups, how Codemasters can improve the game, because these are the guys that most people aspire to be. But we won't talk about that now, because the lights are on. We got 5 red lights, and they are underway. Who's going to get the better start? Is it Mads or Pease? It looks like Mads has had the better getaway. He's on the inside for turn number 1, Abbey corner, as Pease goes a little bit wide. Calvin comes out of nowhere. He gets past Mads. It's a Mercedes 1-2 coming through into Village now. Total Pease has held off his teammate for the time being, but here comes Calvin trying to hold him around the outside as they file on to the Wellington straight. It's Pease from Calvin, from Mads, Don and Miami going side by side. A little bit of contact between those two, as I believe Philippe has gone around, or at least someone has. Well, I don't know about that one, but battles in and out the field. You can see drivers squabbling for the early positions, trying to see if they can make an overtake. Here goes Miami trying to defend from the 2 Renault cars. Here comes Heated LH up the inside through Cops. What a move from him there, as he forces his teammate a little bit wide. He did not want to give up the position. Nolan has now, they run side by side through Maggers and Beckers. That could have been a very bad, and actually I think Nolan has gone a little bit wide and maybe lost the back end ever so slightly, and LH moves into 5th position on his teammate. So little bit of a crazy start between those guys. Here goes side by side. MCR having to back out before things got ugly through Stone. Nolan having to defend from Miami now. Is Miami going to slip to the outside? It looks that way, as here he goes through the Vale chicane and up through Club Corner. He can't get the move done, as this a little bit of contact between Seoul and Miami. It's getting feisty between these guys as someone else has gone off. I believe that is McDutchface. Yes, it is McDutchface gone around there. The timing screen's a bit glitched out right now, but that will soon fix itself once we get out of the first sector. And it's actually fixed itself up now, so no, it hasn't. McDutchface should actually be in dead last at the moment. Here comes MCR on Miami up the inside into Brooklands. Can he get the move done, as now Miami's going to have the inside line for the next corner through, this is Lovefield, and they're going to run up towards Woodcut side by side through the international pit straight. MCR gets the move on Miami, who seems to be slipping back in the pack ever so slightly. He started in 5th, now running in I believe 9th place, so he's really on the back foot at the moment, as here goes Jerome trying to keep up with him and get past Miami, having to try stick in the dirty air of MCR, losing a bit of downforce, and there's Soul going around and into the wall. He's lost his wing, and the virtual safety car is out. Rajalon also out of the Grand Prix in the same position. We'll maybe see from the onboard of McDutchface here. If you look to the right of your screen, you can actually I didn't see him there, but I'm sure some eagle-eyed people would have been able to see that. As here we go, there's another predicted pit stop strategy. We seem to be getting underway now. It says it's virtual VS. says still VSC, and we are green flag racing again. So P's leading from Calvin, from Mads, who's beginning to drop just a little bit back here. Gonna have to try and keep up with these guys, as here comes heated LH on XL Don. He's got the run, the DRS is now open, he's looking to the left hand side, the inside line for Brookland, and he's going to get the move done into the corner. Can he hold it on the inside? XL Don gonna have to try and go a little bit wide, get a little bit of a better exit, and he hasn't got it. He's lost the position. LH really ciphering his way through the pack right now. This is strong from the Renault driver. Nolan's maybe going to try and want to follow his teammate through, but he's dropped a second to them already. California trying to make moves on Fuzi right now. Can't get the move done. It's a very risky overtaking opportunity through cops. Most likely you're going to crash. If you do, that would be quite horrible. As Philippe, he's losing the car. Can't get him there. If we just go board with Calvin, he's keeping up with his teammate decently well here. That's probably due to the DRS and using ERS as well. As I say that, he's actually kept it pretty nice, and Don's coming in for a very early pit stop. Yeah, that is an early one. So is MCR, so they might have picked up some damage somewhere. That could have been the reason why Don lost the position so easily to LH. It's nice watching some clean racing. Robert has made up how many positions? That's 10 positions in 4 laps, just by keeping his cool, not getting involved in any incidences. He's found himself in 8th position, trying to challenge for Jerome and Miami, as 3 drivers came to the pit lane. McDutchface, MCR and Don. What times are they going to go on to? Apparently the softs. Apparently they didn't pit. What? I love this game's timing tower. You know what? It's actually incredible. So through Cop's corner goes the runners for 6th position. Jerome and Robert trying to follow behind Miami at the moment. They look to be closing in on the McLaren driver, who touches the grass. Doesn't seem to have affected him too much through here. He touches it again, as now the DRS is open for the Red Bull driver, and you'd have to think that Miami is defenseless against the Honda power engine. He's going to look to the right hand side of the track, the inside of Stowe corner. Miami trying to hold him around the outside, using overtake on exit, trying to get a little bit extra traction, as now through the Vale chicane Jerome has the inside line on the McLaren driver, and he can't get the move done. That was some great defensive work from Miami there. He maintains 6th position. Robert just watching in the background. He's got the best seat in the house, and these are 3 different chassis, 3 different engines, all fighting against each other. McLaren has the Renault engine, the Red Bull has the Honda, and the Racing Point, the mighty Mercedes engine, which you'd have to think is the strongest engine in F1 at the moment. As here goes Jerome, looking to the left hand side of the track on Miami. He gets the move on the McLaren driver, who's slipping back. I said it before, he is slipping back in the pack at the moment, as he's trying to make a switchback work though on Jerome, as California's gone, I think. Off into the grass he goes. Seems to be damage free though. Fair play to him. But now Jerome dropping Miami, as you can see here, and falling into the clutches of Robert. The 2 Racing Points who started in the back of the field. I think 16th for Philippe, 18th for Robert, now running 8th and 9th. This could be some good save there from Philippe, but now Fusa is got a brilliant run on him. He looks to the inside. That was an easy as you like overtake through Stowe corner, as Philippe tries to close the door a bit too late and almost spins the Williams car out. That could have been catastrophic for both of their races. I'd imagine a fat penalty would have come towards Philippe if the Williams car did end up crashing where Alex Albon crashed, as I think Adri has gone around, yes, into the grass at the Vale chicane through Club corner. Very difficult traction zone. I assume that he lost it whilst he was accelerating. He's struggling with the hot tyres. You got to be careful with that, because you're going to spin out, you're going to spin the wheels too much. As Miami has caught back up to Jerome. Can't get the move done into Brooklands. What about through Luffield? Can he close in and make up some ground? And he's going to stick back and actually lose quite a bit of time on exit to the corner. Going later on the break did compromise his exit there, as Roberts beginning to slip back just a little bit. Penalties beginning to come out for McDutchface and Calvin. Calvin still keeping in the toe of his teammate. They're working together really well. Got a 1.5 second gap back to Mads, who has a 3.4 second gap to Heated LH. So these guys are really in their own race at the moment. We're watching the battle for 6th and 7th position. Have a quick sip of my drink. I might have to go refill in due time, but I'll try to conserve it. And it'll only be a couple seconds. I'm not gonna abandon the stream for very long. I actually used to leave the stream to go eat dinner and then just come back, and I don't do that anymore. I'm much more professional. I don't know why they actually took that from me, but I was glad they did, because I wouldn't be commentating here today. As we'll move past my my personal life, as there's actually a bit of a battle going on between Saul and McDutchface, but we won't focus on that because Miami once again trying to close in through Woodcut. No, this is not Woodcut, this is Luffield, where Lewis Hamilton and Nicholas Latifi spun out during qualifying earlier on today. It was an eventful qualifying session, and it landed Lando Norris P5, so that was nice from him. Can the McLaren driver make the British driver proud? Or he's actually running in Carlos Sainz's car, the 55. He's going to abandon that, go to the Ferrari next season, which sounds really cool. But unfortunately it's not, as here comes Nolan on his teammate up the inside at Stowe corner. LH just lets him go, as that was easy as you like for JD. Nolan, the Renault teammate, making up some good positions right now in P4 and P5. I don't think they started this high up the grid, so I guess other drivers pitting did help them out, which still hasn't updated. They're still on the same tyre for me. But if I can actually just have a look at one of the drivers who did pit, I mean, Saul, like, McDutchface definitely pitted, so did Don, so... Oh, they had drive-throughs! Oh, that makes a lot more sense. They were speeding under the VSC. Oh yeah, I forgot that was a thing. That was completely my fault, that slipped my mind completely. As we're still watching the battle for 6th position, Miami losing a little bit more each lap, just maybe half a tenth, so could be signs of the McLaren struggling with his tyres. They're getting to the point where the tyres will die out for the softs, which of course Jerome and Robert don't have to feel. They're going to keep going. They're in their operation window, I like to call it, where they're actually effective. They're in that for a much longer time. You can go to maybe about lap 15, I would say, on a fresh set of mediums. I'd guess. That's probably where I would put it. So if they were to pit now, of course they wouldn't make it to the end on the softs. That would be crazy. But you're maybe going to want to come in and do, say, 10 laps on a fresh set of softs. That's definitely doable. It's going to be tough though. This game seems to be a lot more tricky on the tyres. A lot more, I guess more punishing. They die out a lot quicker. Some strategies don't work as well as they used to. Like at France, you know, you could do a softer medium and get away with it. You can't do that anymore. You have to do mediums to hards, and even then your tyres will be screaming at you. So it is definitely a new game and a new feeling. As I think Calvin's gone, if I can just find him. There he is. Calvin spun out at Luffield on the infield. He should be avoidable by all the drivers. It's now the pack that we've been watching breeze by him. So now it's just turned into the battle for 5th position, but now we're actually looking at the battle for 6th, because Miami beginning to feel the pressure from Robert at the moment. Can he get him through Mags and Beckett? It doesn't look like it. That'd be pretty audacious if he actually tried to get it done there. and no, he's gonna a lot of understeer through that corner for Robert there. He might have broken a little bit late, shifted down a bit too late, but he's still in the slipstream. Miami definitely lost a lot of time, as now Miami once again pulls up to the back of Jerome. Is he going to come into the pits like the leaders are? No, he's actually going to follow in this train. I would have pitted if I were him, if my rivals are doing it, not really fighting him. Jerome at this point in the race, you know, your tyres are going to completely die out. You're going to lose so much time on this lap, but you know what, that's his decision. But of course Nolan came into the pits, so heated LH couldn't, and that is one problem. That is one problem with being so close to your teammate, is, you know, you can't make a pit stop on the same lap. It's not going to be detrimental to your race, pitting one lap later because of your teammate, but it can definitely affect you, especially if your tyres are on the verge of puncturing, which I don't think these tyres are, to be honest. But LH just running a cool race. He's got good pace right now. He's using up ERS when he really doesn't have to. But you know what? He can do him. Lifting off a little bit through there. That's what you'd expect at this point in the tyre's life. Robert right behind him though. Someone spun out the pit lane. I think that is Mads that's gone. And the door's just slammed in my house. That scared me. Or it might be McDutchface and Calvin as now opening the DRS on. Yeah, no, they're really separating out. You can see the gaps tend to solidify as the race gets more and more through its progression. Is Miami going to pit? No, Miami's staying out. He wants to fight this for some reason. But his tyres are going to be on the verge of going off. He started in 5th, he didn't get a fresh set of tyres. Now the pit window's open, he's probably going according to that strategy. But he's going to lose out so much on this lap in terms of tyre life that I would have pitted ages ago if I were him. He's running in 2nd now. But with the length of the pit lane, you can lose a lot of time in the pit stop. The undercut is really effective around this circuit. That's what I found at least. I don't know if that holds true. Is there anyone fighting on track at the moment? Let's go out of the cockpit, have some nice views of the cars. You can see that black Mercedes. They recently added this into the game. Of course, Mercedes altered their livery to be completely black from all the bits that were silver to support the Black Lives Matter movement, which is a really nice touch. And a lot of people somehow found a way to criticise it. Said, oh yes, let's change the colour of the car. Racism has ended. Like, it's just a nice gesture, as we'll move on from that, because Robert looking to the inside of Miami, who still does have DRS. They're fighting, using up all their resources, and Miami still holds on. But is he going to pit? Finally, he comes into pit. Did he just chop off Robert? Robert's out of the race. The safety cars come out. I think Miami might have just forgot that Robert was there and just completely chopped him off. Or Robert dropped it under traction. Have a look in the Discord chat. If I... Okay, I've got that out. And LH is out of the race as well. Right, let's go on board with Sol. See if we can see what's happened to LH here. He's out of the race as well. What's happened for them? What? I'm so confused. Someone's in chat though, so I'm gonna go say hello. The safety car is out. Maverick says woo. Well, everyone gets a free pit stop now, I suppose. That'd be good if you were Miami, because now look at him. He's on a fresh set of tyres, and he's ahead of Don, who pitted pretty early on in the race. Oh wait, no, never mind. Don had a drive-through. So Miami's really come out in around about the same position. He's actually gained a lot of time to Nolan throughout this. If you remember, he was a long way back from the Renault driver. Now he's going to be in a provisional P4, in a net P4, once Jerome and Fuse are coming to the pit lane. Drama kicking off in LOE Div 4. Well, the safety car's out. Jerome and Fuse are both coming to the pit lane. That will allow for Pease to get back into the race lead. I'm just going to ask in the Discord. And Jerome's been disqualified for ignoring yellow flags. Well, it says that Jerome's been disqualified. Has he? That doesn't look like a human driving. Is he gonna put off to the side? I've no clue what's happened there. It's just come up on my screen that he got disqualified. I don't think that's the case, to be honest. Now he's on 12 lap old soft sleep. This game is riddled with glitches, I tell you. As he's trying to overtake Brandon, but that's not going to work. You can't overtake on the safety car. So we've got to spend at least 2 laps. Okay, so LH has said that he didn't expect Jack to stop. I don't know who Jack is. Oh, it's Jack. Okay, never mind. It's Nolan. Jack. Right, makes sense. And he's gone, and I just smashed into him. Well, fair enough. Oh, that's a shame. He says I was actually having so much fun. I do want to find out about Miami, though. Well, the safety car's going to stay out one more lap, I'd assume. This does help the guys that have had their own incidences throughout the race, like MCR and McDutchface, who got their drive-throughs, and then Saul, who also spun off in Chapel, coming onto the hangar straight. Don's really made the most of this, though. He's actually found his way in 7th position when his fellow... Oh, did Dutchface spin, actually? Oh no, Dutchface did have a drive-through. Well, lap 14, it's all kicked off. But I'd assume at this point the safety car is going to come in. Brandon's in AI mode. He's actually not in the session, so I don't quite know what's happened with him there. They're weaving away. Just trying to keep some heat into the tyres. It's hard to do in the under the safety car conditions. When you're going at such slow speeds, it's hard to keep heat in them because, you know, there's not as much friction, not as much force going through them. I sound so scientific at the moment. My head's exploding with how smart I am. Not much to talk about with the safety car being out, but I'll give you a little track fact. This Silverstone circuit used to be an airfield. It spans across, I think, 2 counties, those being Buckinghamshire and then I think Northamptonshire. I think so. Safety cars in this lap. Queen Elizabeth actually attended the first race around here, which was the first ever official Formula One Grand Prix and has shaped the sport until now. I think it was Nino Farina or Giuseppe Farina to win it. I don't know the facts. We'll go on board with Total P's though, because it is up to him to restart this race, as he's going to go already. As now he's pulled the trigger. He's got Mads following up behind him, then Nolan, then Miami, who could be in the face of controversy later on in the evening, as we are underway again. I think Calvin is spun coming out of the Bell chicane through Club Corner, so he's going to rejoin in last. Shame for him. He was having a good race at the front with his teammates as they come through the village section of the track. We got a couple of drivers trying to make up positions, one of which being Jerome right now, looking to get past Adri, who's had a bad getaway once again, not once again, but through the safety car restart, as there he goes up the inside through Brooklands. The Williams trying to fight him around the outside. He can't get the move, as here comes Fusa. Actually could maybe cause some disruptions. No, not quite, as a little bit further up ahead, California trying to get past Philippe. I assume by their names that Miami and California are friends. They're both in the same car. They've both got names of cities, and the safety car's out again. What's the safety car come out for? Huh? Whoa, what's the safety car just come out for? It's come out for no reason whatsoever. I don't see anyone that's spun. They've all got normal gaps. If I would pit for softs, to be fair. Miami's come in, Don's come in. I'd definitely go into soft tyres. They can make it to the end right now. You'd be a lot quicker. Migrating out, so LH has left the session. That could be difficult. It's worrying that stuff happens like that. Because sometimes when the host leaves, it can get a little bit airy or whatever. You know, sometimes it can glitch out. Now we've got to spend another 2 laps at least on the safety car. Total Peace has been disqualified. The race leader, the pole setter. What has happened? It just says DSQ. Just gonna try and get to the bottom here. It says ignoring yellow flag, but he was leading. Well, now Mads is leading the race, I guess. Excuse me? Okay, Robert's actually told us in the chat that Miami didn't do anything. He gave some. He says this: I gave Miami some space, then I went too hard on the throttle, completely my fault. That's good to hear that Miami didn't take him out coming to the pit lane. Unfortunate about the crash though, you know, obviously that's not what we want to see. He had really good pace, to be fair to him, but now the safety car out for another lap. The race leader's been disqualified. Miami's on mediums for some reason. They could have definitely made it to the end on softs. You can see everyone that pitted came on for softs. McDutchface, MCR, Adri and Don. I'd expect Don to be putting in some stellar lap times as the race progresses. You've got Jerome and Fusa, 2 drivers who are on pretty fresh softs. I believe I don't know how many laps old they are. Let's have a look at the big movers in the race. You can see California being the biggest mover. He's moved up 10 positions at the moment. That is, oh wait, Philippe's actually moved up more places than him. He's up 13 from where he started. Of course, he started down in 16th. The safety car is just done him a treat. He's now in 3rd position on the rostrum. Well done to him, to be fair. He's just kept out of the way of everyone else, kept his nose clean, and whilst everyone else have blown each other up, he's capitalised and gotten 3rd, so well done to him. That would be the Driver of the Day award, of course, as for some reason him and California going side by side. You can't go side by side on the safety car. You have to keep at least a car's length between you. That's at least my philosophy with it. If you're going side by side and then you get spun out, that's completely your fault, you know. That's kind of what Sol was just doing. It's happened before in another league, I won't name it, but a friend of mine on the safety car, he went side by side with this guy. He was trying to get some heat in the tyres, and then he didn't see the big car cursor, and that just ruined him, and both of them spun out into the wall. So, you know, and it was in the end the guy's fault, my friend's fault, for being side by side. That's how the stewards result came out. But we'll move past that because Mads has got a job to do. He's got to restart the field. Round about now, I think total P's went, and yeah, now Mads has gone, so they both seem to go at the same time. Will it work for P's? Will it work for Mads? We'll go on board with Nolan as a penalty for... Oh dear, Nolan spun out. That moves Philippe up into 2nd now. Seems like a lot of drivers are spinning out in that area. I'm going to play some F1 after this. I haven't played all day. Calvin spun there at the restart. Speaking of Calvin, he gets past the AI car of Brandon, who's not in the race. XL Don now got him in his sights. Let's just turn it back to the tyres. Here we go. We're underway once again. Let's hope we don't have a random safety car for no reason, because I'm still confused as to why the last one came out. This is one guy to watch throughout the rest of the race. XL Don, he's coming, he's fitted the soft tyres, he's now running in 7th position after getting a drive-through penalty for speeding on the safety car, virtual safety car, sorry, as he tracks down the guy who started in 3rd position. He's had his own incidences today, and for goodness sake, no, it's come up for no reason. There's glitch. What? The safety car's out again for no reason, and I guess we just got to ride this wave home. That's a shame that we're not going to see any more racing. If I were... I'm going to bring this up with one of the admins. It might have been caused by LH leaving, but there's another... Yes, another glitch in the game. 50% race. 18 players at the start of the race. Host left. Now the safety car's glitching out. I'm gonna submit this to the Codemasters forums because this is gonna kill league racing. And they always say you have to say how many people are in the session. Well, it was 18 at the start, 14 at the time of the safety car, of this safety car at least. PS4 platform. I'm going to see if there's any more requirements actually, because I put out a tweet once where I got angry at Codemasters because I got disqualified at the start for no reason. I'll just have a quick look under that there. No, I can't find it. Okay, platform, I don't know what report code is. It's an online race, 15 players. The host left before the lobby. the host left after he crashed out after the first safety car. Maybe it's because everyone's spinning under safety car. That could be one thing, but it's getting ridiculous at this point. We've lost our race leader to the safety car, which I think is complete rubbish. Maybe Mads will get disqualified as well for ignoring yellow flags. If that happens, they just have to call the race off at that point. Remember one time in the last game where I can't remember what happened. I was commentating over a league, and it was at this track as well. Half the field got disqualified for overtaking the safety car because the safety car wouldn't move, and then when it said let the safety car pass, the safety car wouldn't come past. So then it ended up being half the grid got disqualified and then half points got awarded. Very funny. Not much to really do or talk about, so let's get some track facts up. Pardon me, I do apologise. Right, let's have a look. Race facts. I'll just read out the paragraph. Wait, no, I actually want an interesting fact. Okay, the lowest grid position a podium finish has come from at Silverstone is 28th. This happened at the 1954 British Grand Prix when Onfray Mahimon finished at third, having started 28th in a 30-car grid. Interesting. There is yet to be a British Grand Prix at Silverstone in which all the top three on the grid finish the race in the same order. And oh dear, we're underway. I thought we'd be doing one more lap. We're green flag racing once again. Hopefully, I'm so embarrassed. Safety car's gone back in. Hopefully, we don't get another safety car because I want to actually watch the race as it's about going on between probably Miami and Dutch faces. Brandon's AI just slips further back in the pack as yellow flags through sector 1. Nolan's out the Grand Prix. That could be a legitimate safety car, but hopefully not. Fingers crossed. Doesn't look like there's going to be a safety car, but you never know with Codemasters. My mind completely blanked. Here we go though. Jerome, who's on the soft tyres, they're still going to be completely perfectly working. Yeah, no, the game's glitched. The safety cars come out once again for another third or fourth time. But that means I can go back to my track facts. It's not as fun. I say just call off the race and then dole everything out based on where they finished in this. 'Cause this is just ridiculous at this point. As Mads is picked up by the safety car. Let's have a look at Silverstone's memorable moment. Well, of course, in 2003 there was a track invader. The Irish priest Cornelius Horan ran onto the circuit on the Hanger Straight. There's a penalty coming off someone there. I think that was MCR getting a penalty for colliding with someone. Well, in 2008, of course, Lewis Hamilton reigned supreme in the wet conditions. I believe Massa spun out 5 times in that race. But Lewis Hamilton, he took his first home race win in the extraordinary conditions in Silverstone in 2008. Started from 4th position, and but he was up 2nd by the first corner. His teammate Heikki Kovalainen was leading, and then he just whizzed past him, and he got past at Stowe Corner. Of course, that was like turn 6 at the time, but now it's a lot later on in the lap. Hamilton, he had one short run in the grass, but he ended up winning the race by only a minute. Whoops. He won by over a minute. I don't get it. How does this happen? You know? Like, what happens in the coding of this game to be like, yeah, let's just make random safety cars come out at every moment? I feel like Codemasters focus too much on career mode, and then they just push their other modes aside, most notably online mode, which is just a complete mess. League racing is never... I'd have it to say, I love F1 games, but I'd have it to say this is the worst F1 game we've had in recent times. Definitely, arguably, this is worse than F1 2015, and 2014, which was just a complete mess. This game is really... I mean, it's in its early phases, you know, but like F1 2015 didn't even have the safety car in it. So, you know, I mean, arguably there's too many safety cars in this race, and the safety car is going to come in this lap. I've not got caught up with my track facts. That, you know, I was just so used to running on the safety car, you know. Oh dear. Well, Mads gonna pull the trigger early, it seems. Philippe's been caught napping. Already a second dropped to Mads, but it's not gonna matter really, is it? Maybe if people just don't have incidences, that would work. If no one spins out here, because maybe that could have been a cause. But if we get to Maggots and Beckett's and we're actually at 2 laps to go, we could have some racing. So you know what, I'm not going to lose hope right now. Jerome trying to catch up to California S for 3rd position, the final spot on the rostrum. It's soft tyres against medium. The softs have hardly been used, but now with ERS, California's going to blitz it down the straight. He's already used up about 30%. That's crazy, that. But Jerome running a little bit deep into Brookland as Fusa, oh no, this is Calvin actually, trying to catch out Fusa, get a top 5 finish under his belt for the pre-season race. That would be a very strong finish for the driver here. It's now through Copse Corner. This is where the safety cars have been most notably coming out. Will we get another safety car? I don't think so. Someone's gone off. There's been a double car. I think 2 cars have gone off. Miami and Seoul. Miami's gone. Saul is also gone. So those two out of the race. They're probably not going to get points in this one, as Mads leads off into the distance from Philippe. California trying to keep up with him, but he's not doing the best of jobs right now, as we are going to have green flag racing for the rest of the race. Hallelujah. Here comes Calvin trying to make a move on the outside through the Vale chicane. He can't get it though, as here comes XL Don. Those soft tyres, man, they're working, as Don gets up into trying to make a switchback move work through Village. A little bit of contact there. Calvin on the inside, but the supreme soft grip, and now they're still making contact. Don and Calvin coming up onto the Wellington straight, and Calvin's gone. He's dropped it on the traction. He's broken his wing. Oh, it looks so promising for him, and now he sits in a 12th position. He's not going to get points in this race. I'd be gobsmacked if he did. We've got 2 laps left to go. Mads just has to bring it home. He just has to hold on to the lead from Philippe, who's come from 16th on the grid. If I told him at the beginning of the race you were going to be fighting for the win, he would have told me to go jog on, because that wouldn't have happened. But of course penalties still could play into effect. We don't know what penalties everyone has. As through Stowe Corner you can see Mads has actually messed it up a little bit. Philippe is eking closer as the laps die down, and we get closer to the end of the race, with DRS probably being enabled to slap, but it's only going to be 1 lap of effectiveness. As here we go on the final lap of the Grand Prix. MCR taking the fastest lap of the race. He's going to get a bonus point for doing so, as through Village they come. Doesn't look like he's close enough at this moment in time. Fusa though on 37 lap old soft tyres. Wow. Trying to catch up to Jerome. It doesn't look like he's going to be close enough through here. It looks like this is going to be the way that they finish. I don't see anyone who's actually that close to anyone on track, so they're all kind of in a DRS train, and that's going to help each other out. There's a big lock up from Don up behind. Wow. Well, that front left brake disc is going to be excruciatingly hot, and also could be a big flat spot on that tyre. Of course, flat spots aren't a thing in Codemasters F1 games. Yeah. So I think, yeah, that could be the end of the race, unless Philippe can get a monstrous run down the straight. But Mads is going to use up all the ERS he can. If Mads makes a mistake here, Philippe could be gifted the win, but it doesn't look like he's going to make that mistake, because he's going to come through the Vale chicane. California and Jerome exchanging a couple blows. Philippe did all he can, but he couldn't get past NSX Mads, who's going to take the win of the race. And Philippe, with a boatload of penalties, actually drops off the podium. Don takes up 2nd. California finishes in 3rd. Wow. And that is the end of your Grand Prix for Britain. Look at the gap between Philippe and MCR. Hardly anything between them, but a lot of penalties coming out for Philippe. I definitely think the abundance of safety cars hindered him a lot in this race. He could have been higher up in the grid if there wasn't so many safety cars. But that is NSX Mads taking the win of the Grand Prix in your pre-season race. California S rounding out the podium. XL Don ends up in P2. As there is your driver of the day, California S. His teammate couldn't do what he did today, and that was get on a on the podium. There it is. Mads takes the win here. And he sprays the champagne on his competition and the factory worker, and of course on all the crowd that would be here, but of course COVID hasn't allowed for that to happen. I'll run down the grid, and then I'll end the stream. Mads wins the race in the Haas car, then the AlphaTauri of Don takes up second round out the podium. Starting from 14th position, it's California taking up third, fourth for Jerome, then fifth for Philippe after his 9 seconds of penalties. MCR in 6th, 7th for Adri, then Fusa in 8th, 9th for Brandon, Miami in 10th, 11th for Sol, Calvin in 13th, 14th for McDuckface, Dutchface, he actually retired. Nolan in 14th, 15th for Total Peas after he was disqualified, LH in 16th, 17th for Robert, and then DNFing early on in the race, Raja. Thank you everyone for watching the stream. I do once again apologise for my tardiness. I was late because I was eating dinner. So stay safe everyone, join us next week. Have a good rest of your evening.